And here we've got to the first place ever for me, where I get to some date like 2030, could be 2032, I don't know. I have no fucking idea. And so if I've no idea, and I'm considered an expert in doing this, and you listen to the AI people, they don't really know. Nobody really knows. The governments have no idea what's happening. I'm thinking, okay, well, if I'm right, we've got about 5 years to sort our shit out. And so that means if I'm trying to think, how do I get through this massive change? This is going to be the biggest change to human civilization in its history, because we were always the top of the tree, and now we're not. We're the next rung down. And then eventually there'll be artificial superintelligence, which will mean that the regular AI will be the next rung down, will be the third rung down. So if that's the case, the easiest way to get through it is to try and make as much money as possible now, so you're buffered from it.
Bitcoinzilla stands out with its simplicity and clarity. We've crafted an experience that anyone can dive into, whether you're a crypto expert or just a new to the crypto world. Now guess who keeps his eye on us? The author of best-selling book Rich Dad Poor Dad, Robert Kiyosaki. And we want to take this opportunity and thank all the people who trusted us, and we read every comment. And the best part, it's free. Subscribing now means you will get all new information for free. Don't just follow the trends, stay ahead of them. Subscribe to Bitcoinzilla today and enjoy the new edge.
Raoul Pal then explaining crypto's collapse hedge, reinvesting gains beating S&P. Let's dive in today together.
So money essentially keeps falling in value, and people realize that by the fact that their wages actually don't go up, but the cost of things goes up. And I'm not talking about food and stuff. That kind of inflation is more cyclical. What I'm talking about is the important things for young people is like, can I buy a house? So young people start thinking, why can't I buy a house? Why do houses still go up and I'm working really hard and I'm working 2 or 3 different jobs? That's because optically they're devaluing the value of the currency, and it makes these assets expensive. But their wages don't go up in the same way. So that's one thing. The value of the currency goes to zero over time. So it's not an instant collapse. It's a slow thing that just makes life harder for everybody. The second thing is that most economic value is based on 2 things, either knowledge or labor. You either physically do things or you mentally do things. The value of those 2 things over time is going to zero because of the rise of AI and robots.
Hunting early crypto gems in 2025 shouldn't feel like rolling dice. Start with builders, teams shipping useful code in public with active repos, tests, and outside validation. Then confirm usage. Fees people actually pay and the protocol's retained revenue speak louder than viral threads or TVL spikes. Next, verify liquidity. Real order book depth and tight spreads across reliable venues matter more than splashy volumes. After that, study token design. Float, FDV, unlock cliffs, and emissions reveal whether fresh supply will crush price. Finally, check security and governance. Audits, time locks, multisigs, and transparent upgrade paths. Being early is a repeatable process, not a lucky guess. Track steady shipping, sticky usage, tradable markets, sane supply curves, and well-governed code. Watch momentum after incentives fade and airdrops land. If those lights stay green, take measured positions. Size for smart contract and counterparty risk, and keep notes so you learn fast. Discipline compounds, FOMO doesn't. That's how you spot tomorrow's standouts before the crowd today.
Now, as this revolution in AI accelerates, the cost of compute keeps going down, but intelligence keeps rising of these models. Right now, the frontier models are probably having an IQ similar to like a person with an IQ of 150. So that's extremely smart, but it's doubling every year. So by next year, it's an IQ of 300, let's say. Well, that's smarter than any human ever. And then it doubles again, and it doubles again. And all it's taking is more energy and more compute. There's this flywheel that keeps driving this. And so there's a manned scramble to lower the cost of energy, whether it's via solar, nuclear, whatever. That drives more compute. There's a mad scramble to make computing more efficient and faster, and that drives all of this intelligence flywheel further. On the robotics side, we've only really started that journey. Yes, we've got self-driving cars. So, self-driving cars, let's think of a Tesla. At scale, they've got cameras that are learning, like a human, how to navigate the world around them. So it's not a pre-programmed thing. It kind of uses a map, like we would, and then looks at the environment around it and says, well, if that car pulls out, then this is what normally happens, etc., exactly as we learn. These are these kind of visual neural networks. So then you've got this thing that same brain can be put into the humanoid robot, and that over time is getting cheaper in compute costs, even though people are spending so much on data centers because there's more and more compute going on. And then the robotics at scale, I mean, there's already humanoid robots in China, and they're like 15 grand. And yes, they don't have the intelligence of what Tesla are trying to do and what others are trying to do. But eventually, you'll have if you think about it, let's say a 15 grand robot with above human intelligence. So if you think of employing somebody, they cost you what? The average salary in the United States, like 48 grand a year or whatever. Okay, so for one-off cost plus a bit of electricity, you can get something that will work 24/7, never has a sick day or anything else. Okay, what role do we play? We'll come on to what role we play in society and economics later, but that's the scale of what is happening, and it's happening at an exponential rate. So it's not like this is a gradual rise here. We're going up the curve where everything does this. We can already start to feel that it's happening so fast, you can't comprehend it. When you're on Twitter and you see these kind of models where you can just put in a couple of words and make it almost a movie out of it. Right? 2 years ago, ChatGPT was barely started, and now we're at this. It's like, well, where's it going to be in another 2 years' time? And then another 2 years' time? It's beyond our comprehension. If you can observe it from a beach in the Cayman Islands drinking a pina colada, it's better than being disrupted in everything that you do. How do you make a choice if you're coming out of university? What job do you do? I don't know. Of course, there'll be opportunities, and we'll talk about that later for humans, but we don't know what they are yet.
Could Solana outrun Ether if a US SOL ETF gets approved? Access is the first domino. ETFs pull SOL into brokerage channels, letting advisors allocate quickly. If creations ramp, CME futures and options equip market makers to hedge cleanly, keeping spreads tight and liquidity deep. That plumbing can amplify flows, but only if on-chain demand keeps pace. The tells are simple: rising daily active users, growing fee revenue, heavier stablecoin settlement, and steady developer momentum. If those move together while spreads hold across major venues, ETF interest becomes durable, not just launch week noise. Ether still starts ahead with a live ETF footprint, allocator familiarity, and a broad app stack. Inflows are cyclical, so access alone won't decide leadership. For Solana to outperform, the ETF must bridge into usage DEX trading, payments, consumer apps, not just a ticker. Watch creations, rising CME open interest, sticky users, and shipped code after hype fades. If the pipes hum and the chain delivers, SOL can beat ETH over Windows. If approvals slip, liquidity thins, or usage fizzles, Ether's maturity wins. The scoreboard is flows meeting on-chain activity. If you have been watching so far, thank you so much for watching, and do not forget to subscribe to Bitcoin Zella for daily news all for free. That's all for today's video. Until next time.